Hey, what's up, guys? It's the MediaMarauder. Hey, is my hair out of place? I guess not. You guys were saying I needed a haircut, so look at there. There's a haircut for you. But anyway, right now we're going to do a story time. We haven't done story time in a while. Uh, I just saw a few days ago Jim Brown died, so we're going to do a story time about Jim Brown. I've met Jim Brown several times. Uh, I met him probably 25 years ago at a golf tournament. And the crazy thing is, at this golf tournament, we had Bill Russell there, who played for the Celtics, probably one of the greatest basketball players of all time. Oscar Robinson, the Big O, was there. He was another, like I said, Hall of Fame, football or basketball player. Joe Namath was there. You know, Joe Montana. I mean, Johnny Unitas, I think, was there. I mean, it was Bart Starr was there. I mean, all these huge, huge names were there. And the only person I've ever been nervous to meet, or my heart started racing a little bit, or I was just intimidated by. I don't know why. But like I said, when I went to get his autograph, I was like, so nervous and stuff. I don't even think, because normally when I ask somebody, I say Mister, Mister So and So, and I think I got so nervous I can't remember. Can't remember if I said Mister, and Jim was like, "Don't call me Mister, call me Jim," or something like that. Or I forgot to say Mister, and I felt bad because it's like, oh, I usually give respect. I can't remember. I had a weird thing like that where, when you kind of get nervous, you're just not thinking, you're just not doing the right thing. But like I said, I just don't. I think I was too nervous to kind of remember what was going on. I just remember myself thinking, "Oh shoot, I forgot to do this," or so I might have forgot to say Mister or something like that. And the thing with Jim is, I always appreciate him because he was kind of an advocate, for people. So he would try to stand up for people's rights and speak truth about stuff. And I really like that. And like I said, it doesn't seem like too many athletes do that much anymore. They take a stand for things. But that's one of the things I really liked about Jim. And like I said, when I met him, he was just a super nice guy. Uh, but like I said, I don't know why. I was just so nervous, to meet him. But yeah, like I said, I've met almost everybody. I've met Jordan. I wasn't nervous to meet Jordan. I mean, I've met tons of people, Barkley and Drexler, and John Havlicek, and I mean all kinds of stuff. Johnny Bench, anybody you can think of, Tiger Woods, Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus. I mean, it's like everybody. But like I said, for some reason, like Jim just seemed like he was, I don't know, above everybody. I don't know. I mean, Michael Jordan was great, but it just seemed like, I don't know. I put Jim more on a pedestal. I don't know. Maybe because I was a football fan more than anything, maybe. And I grew up in Ohio, and I went to the not college football, but the Pro Football Hall of Fame was only like 2 hours from my house. And I usually went there every year from like the 80s up until about 2000. And you go up there and get autographs, or enjoy the induction and just check it out. I mean, because there's all kinds of cool things. So like I said, just Jim Brown was the man for me, I guess, because I was a Cleveland. Well, I can tell you guys, 1974, I moved here to Ohio, and I became a Cowboys fan because everybody around here hates the Cowboys, and that's the way I am. I kind of like to rub people the wrong way, and not to be mean, just to rib people or something. But like I said, I was a true Cowboys fan from 1974 until pretty much their dynasty team. I kind of started hating them then because I got rid of Landry and Walker. But then after I figured out how much that Walker trade did for the Cowboys, I started liking them again. But what I had was what I called a regional team. So the Dallas Cowboys were my favorite team overall. But my regional team that I rooted for, because you have to have a regional team too. You have to root for, the people, around town that play and stuff. Like, who they like sometimes. But so the Browns were my second favorite team. But I didn't get to see Jim Brown play. But my favorite running back was Greg Pruitt, and that was like more like the late '70s where Jim played, like in the late '60s or whatever. So, I think maybe that's why I put him on such a high pedestal, because he played for the Browns, and he pretty much was the greatest running back of all time, most people consider. And the second time I saw him, he was, like I said, like 25, 30 years ago. You definitely wouldn't want to mess with him in a back alley. I mean, he was in good shape, when he was like in his 50s or whatever. The last time I saw him, it was like, I don't know what, I'm not sure how old he was when he died. I'm guessing maybe in his late 70s or 80s or something like that. But he could tell he was a little frailer, and you could tell age had, caught up with him. But he was still pretty intimidating, man. He was still a big dude. But yeah, like I said, the second time I met him, I was working at a convention, a sports card show, and I was working the back room, and I don't think I got to work with Jim, but I was just with him for like a few minutes. Some of the athletes I got to spend like 6 or 8 hours with because I actually worked them. I actually, would take them to the front room for the public signing, and then we'd actually go in the back room and I'd take care of that for him. But I don't think I did with Jim that time. But I did get to talk to him for a little bit. Got his picture taken with me, and he was cool, super cool guy. And I got a picture with him and Pete Rose kind of being together because I figured, man, you got the Hit King and you got the Russian King right there, so in one picture, so I thought it was cool. But like I said, he was just a super nice guy, and like I said, one of my favorite players of all time. And I was sorry to hear him pass. Like I said, just such a super nice guy. Just wanted to let you guys know how much of a nice guy he really was. He was good off the field as he was on the field. So that's my story. I'd like to do some more of these story times. I really haven't been doing them much, but we're going to try to do some more. Because, like I said, I've met a lot of players, and I have a lot of insight, and I have a lot of, opinion of some of these players. But my opinion was Jim Brown, super nice guy. Cool in my book. And like I said, I loved him in his movies and stuff too. Like I said, most of his movies. Like I said, I talk movies with a lot of these guys that did movies. Like I would rather talk movies than football a lot of times. Like at that same show, Brian Bosworth was there, and he was my favorite player in college, and also his 1 year at the pros or 2 years or whatever. And literally, he was a guy I was actually with, and we were with for like 5 hours. I was holding the signing with him or whatever, and him and we talked movies like the whole time. And he's been in like, I don't know, 15 or 20 movies, and we were talking about like every single movie he was in, and like I said, you could tell he was excited to not have to talk football, because most of these guys don't want to talk football. People have been talking football to him their whole lives. I mean, like I said, if I would have had time, with Jim Brown, more time, I would have talked to him about his movies or, some TV shows and stuff he was on or stuff. Because like I said, most athletes don't want to talk sports. It's just a fact. I mean, it's kind of like, if that's what you do every day, it's kind of nice to hear, hey, how was your day, doing this or doing that, or what other kind of stuff, or you find out what other stuff they like. You say, oh, have you been parasailing lately? If they like parasailing, or they like whatever, or if they enjoy golf, hey, how you been golfing? They love talking about things that they don't have to talk about. I mean, I've like I said, I've been chasing autographs for like 30 years, and I've noticed if I want to break the ice with people, if I don't talk about their sports and their accomplishments, because they've heard that from every single person that walks up to them. So if you actually truly know something about them, like Brian Bosworth, I'd be like, hey, what was it like filming Stone Cold? And then they'd be like, oh yeah, you saw that movie? And I'd be like, yeah, it's a great movie. And then you start picking out some obscure movies, like, hey, how about Blackout? That was a really cool movie. You're like, you saw Blackout too? I was like, yeah. So like, what about One Man's Justice? I just start ripping off all the, because like I said, I watch every Bosworth movie, So, and he was just flipping out. He's like, man, I can't believe you saw all these movies. He says, you're the guy that saw them. I said, yep, I'm the guy you made it for, man. So, all right, guys, we got off Jim Brown a little bit, but just a little tip: if you meet some professional athletes, they already know their stats, so they don't say, oh man, you were a 3-time MVP and blah, blah. They already know that. They don't want to hear that. Just kind of find out something else about them. Break the ice with something really just out of the normal, out of the blue. If you see on the back of their card that says they enjoy fishing or something, you'd say, hey, have you been fishing lately? dude, they'll talk more about fishing with you and become friendlier with you just talking about fishing, because they don't want to talk about they had 9.6 yards per carry. They don't care. They've already done it. They've been there. But if you actually take the time and be like, hey man, when's the last time you went surfing? I saw you like surfing or whatever. And I guarantee you, their eyes will light up. And they'll be like, oh yeah, man, I caught this wave at such a, like I said, they love it, man. They just don't talk about their sport, and they will respond a lot better normally. But all right, guys, hopefully this helps. Hopefully you had a good time. I enjoy doing these. Please like, subscribe, comment. Till next time, peace.